Well, I guess if you insist on me making a fool out of you, I'll gladly, I'll gladly oblige. So for those of you that missed the live the other night, I took a jab at Wade because he told another one of his fabricated stories, right? His stories where it's just completely made up from beginning to end, insinuating that he had to take the fender off his dad's Corvette to put a headlight in it years ago, he said. Here's the video.
You know, my dad called me several years ago on his Corvette, and just the headlight, I had to take the driver's side fender off to change his headlight out. That's the bulb, not the headlight assembly, but the bulb.
Now, Wade, sometimes, and I know you never had any good fatherly advice. That's obvious by the type of human you are. You know, insufferable simp that's too lazy to work, that just sits around simping for another man all day, looking for a handout while mooching off your boy and not paying him any rent for his trailer, sitting there in the trailer park with absolutely zero life accomplishments, zero skill set, zero anything. So you have to lie about who you are. Can't even afford to go to the dentist. You're so damn broke all the time because you make your wife work and spend every last penny of extra money on dope because you're just a shitty human being. Anyway, you'd have been better off to keep your mouth shut, because now I'm going to respond to just make you look like a bigger idiot. Now, everybody watching this video that's got an IQ above a 2 knows Corvettes are a one-piece fiberglass body. Clear up until the C6, it's a one-piece fiberglass body. The C7, the C6, 7, and 8 have a few other removable body panels. And we also know, which is the most laughable part, right? We also know they all have flip-up headlights. Clear up until the C6, the Corvette has flip-up headlights that flip up out of the fender, Wade. You don't have to take anything off to put a headlight in them. And this debate ain't on whether or not what I know about Corvettes. This debate's on what you don't know. The lie you told. Because you don't even have to be a mechanic to know that the headlights flip up. So, and unless your dad had a brand newer vet, well, then if it was a C6, C7, or a C8, Wade, honey, it's got an access panel.
Starting from the inside, you have the turn signal, low beam, high beam. So the low beam's right here. To do the turn signal, you technically don't have to take the tire off. You can turn it inward or outward, and you can access this panel, which I'll show you. Alright, so the tire's off. We're at the access panel, held together by push pins. They're really easy to take off, especially if you have a trim removal tool like this one. Access panel is off. Right away, you can see the turn signal, low beam, high beam. Just like that. So pretty simple for that one.
Just the headlight, I had to take the driver's side fender off to change his headlight out.
So the point is, you fucking made it up, dude. And you'd have been better off just keep your mouth shut. Right? Because now you look like a bigger fool. It's just ridiculous, the nonsense you come up with. And then you Google something about, and it don't even make sense to you, and you try to read it, and no, the C5, the fender don't come off a C5. It's part of the fucking rocker panel, for Christ's sakes. So, and again, you wouldn't have to take the fender off to put a headlight in. That's the point, Wade. Even if it would come off, you don't have to do that because they flip up. And the ones that don't flip up have an access panel. Requires no tools at all other than just maybe a pair of pliers and a Phillips screwdriver. Now, to address your other ignorance, Wade, it is painfully obvious, even to people who hate me because I'm brave enough to call Ryan Upchurch what he is. A conceited bully that's abusing dope. And it is what it is. But even my haters know at this point, Wade, I'm indeed a lifelong mechanic. I mean, there's no fucking denying it. I mean, where am I right now? Well, I'm in my retirement shop. 4 tools. And where are you? Sitting in your boy's mobile home in the mobile home park. 0 skill. If you got off your lazy ass to go get a job tomorrow, you'd have to go like flip burgers or do DoorDash or do Uber or go to Walmart and stock shelves. You have no skill set of any kind. But I hate to break this to you, Mr. Brilliant. They don't give certificates for specific models of cars. And I'm going to do you one better. If you're a mechanic, you can work on a Corvette because they got the same goddamn engine and transmission the fucking Camaro's got. And a Corvette specialist, Wade, wouldn't be somebody that had a certificate. It would be somebody that worked on them all their life. And I'll break it to you now, son. You couldn't work at Bob McDorman / Taylor Chevrolet in the 70s, 80s, or even into the 90s and not know Corvettes, because every single fucking day you'd have Corvettes shoved up your ass in your stall. I started there when I was 16 and worked there till I was 30 years old. And every day or every other day at most, I had vets shoved up my ass, along with everybody else that worked there, because that place was called the Corvette capital of the world. The largest Corvette show in the world went on there. One of the largest Corvette museums, next to the one Chevrolet owns, was there. He had 8 or 9 buildings full of Corvettes. And so you worked on Corvettes if you worked there.
My 54th year in the car business. I'm on my 44th now being a dealer. And I'm as happy today being a Chevrolet dealer as was the day I signed up.
Who among us would not like to feel as passionate about our jobs as Bob McDorman still does about his, especially at age 74? That fire in the belly attitude about Chevrolets in general, and Corvettes specifically, has kept him at the forefront of Corvette history, both as a dealer and a collector. Bob McDorman began the dealership that bears his name in suburban Columbus, Ohio in 1965. Present collection, spread out over more than half a dozen buildings at the back of the dealership's lot, contains, at last count, well over 100 vintage and newer Corvettes, along with 80 or 90 classic Chevrolets of all kinds. More than 200 cars.
Okay, here's a dream scenario. You're one of the largest, best-known Corvette dealers anywhere in the country. And through the years, you have the ability to say to your customers, here's a Corvette for you, and here's a Corvette for me. And you'd wind up with one of the most amazing collections to be found anywhere. In a very real sense, that's what Bob McDorman has done.
But wherever they came from, they're impressive. Rows and rows of pristine Corvettes, at least one from every year of production. And that focus on low serial numbers, it's a bit overwhelming. Everywhere you look, there are cars that are among the first to roll off the assembly line during their year of production. Route to having one of the premier Corvette collections in the country, he has built perhaps the nation's largest collection of original GM and Chevrolet neon signs, roughly 500 of them, all in working condition. This sign, one of only 2 known to exist, has an estimated value of more than $100,000. It stands near a built-from-the-ground-up classic service station that is among Bob McDorman's favorite possessions. But for Corvette enthusiasts, all these extras simply provide a nice setting for where the real interest lies, in more than 9 dozen Corvettes that would make even the slightest fan envious.
And so you worked on Corvettes if you worked there. I started there in the OWE program in high school. And I made a lot of good friends there, and a lot of those guys followed me, which is why every shop I've ever worked in was full of Corvettes, including my own. So if you insist on making yourself look like a fool, you go right ahead. And you know, it's funny to me, you guys said the same thing last year. When I went on vacation, took a 2-week break from YouTube. Oh, he's on YouTube jail, he's suspended. In what world does YouTube suspend people for like a week or two? They don't do that. If you have a video that breaks the rules, they take it down. You don't get kicked off the platform for a week. What world do you guys live in? For what reason would I be barred from uploading a video to YouTube? I mean, it's just like you guys insist. You insist on showing us how damn stupid you are. I've had no strikes on my channel ever because I don't put videos out that break toss. It's that simple. So you keep on living in your fantasy world all you want, and I reserve the right to not upload a video for a week if I want to. But unlike you, Wade, some of us have a life. Our whole existence on this earth isn't to simp for Ryan Upchurch on YouTube and attack everybody that says a negative word about him. Okay, the rest of us all have a life where we actually do stuff and go places and do things. We don't sit in a dark room with 5 monitors waiting on somebody to say something about Upchurch. And everybody's on to your bullshit gross exaggeration about having stage 4 cancer in 2 vital organs that requires no treatment for 2 years. Give me a break. You are an idiot. You make yourself look like an idiot every time you talk. And I know you got your little circle jerk, low IQ, little group of minions there. Anybody outside of that circle, Wade, sees you as the moron, the rotten-toothed, gingivitis mouth moron you are. You're a career doper, lazy welfare bum, mooching off your son with 0 skill set. And you have never proved me wrong about anything. I've made a fool out of you. You're too dumb to know it. You're too dumb to know that I've made a fool out of you. But you have yourself a nice day, Wade. You and your taking a fender off to put a headlight bulb in. Another big fib.